Hi, I'm Melissa Chandler, and welcome to After the Unthinkable, a podcast where I share what it's like to survive the things you think you can't survive and how to move forward one step at a time. So, today I want to tell you about my security blanket. And yes, I am a grown woman with a security blanket. But let me explain. Here's my blanket, and it is flowery and lovely. And I love things that are colorful and have flowers. So, I would like to explain more about my security blanket and why it's important. So, for me, when grief gets heavy, and it still does, I have a ritual. I go lie down on my bed alone in the dark or with just a dim light, like a candle. I usually light a candle or use one of those candle burners for, a calming scent. And I put on a calm show or some music, a comforting show, and I wrap myself in my bright, colorful blanket. It's a Vera Bradley blanket. And here's the funny part. I never even was a fan of Vera Bradley. Sorry, Vera Bradley. I just wasn't a fan because my mom had everything Vera Bradley, so it got on my nerves. My mom loved it. She had way too much of it, bags and blankets and all of it. And I used to tease her about it. I used to call it her Vera Wang stuff, and she would always correct me and say Vera Bradley. And I knew it was Vera Bradley, but I just thought it was funny to kind of tease her in that way. And it just wasn't my style. But this blanket was the last Christmas present my mother ever gave me. And I now have several of her bags too. Things I would never have picked out for myself, things I would have gently made fun of before. Except I do want to correct. This blanket I love. Even when she gave it to me, I loved it because it's soft and it feels so great. And I do love bright, colorful things. So, I mean, but even though I used to make fun of her bags, now they mean more to me than almost anything I own because they were hers, because they came from her, because when I hold them or wrap myself up in my blanket, I feel closer to her than I do almost anywhere else. So here is what I've learned about my blanket. Normally, being alone is what calms me down when the grief gets heavy. I am the kind of person that I need quiet and I need a safe space, and I don't need to perform being okay for anyone. That's how I deal with grief. But the truth is, being alone can also make the grief feel bigger sometimes, lonelier, heavier. But when I wrap myself in my blanket, something shifts inside me. I don't feel alone anymore because it's like a piece of her is still with me, wrapped around me, holding me the way she would if she could. And it sounds so simple. It's just a blanket. But to me, it's not just a blanket. It's the last thing she gave me. And in the hardest moments, it is the closest thing I have to being held by my mother again. So I'm telling you this because I think a lot of us have something like this that we do not talk about because it feels silly or small, or like you're a grown woman with a security blanket. I mean, maybe for you, it's a piece of clothing that still smells like them, or a mug that you drink from every morning. Or maybe it's a piece of jewelry, or a book, or a song, or a chair they used to sit in. These objects are not silly. They are not you failing to move on. They're anchors. They're ways of keeping the people we lost close to us when everything in the world is telling us to let go and move forward. You don't have to let go of these things. You do not have to explain them to anyone. If a blanket helps you survive a hard night, then that blanket is doing sacred work. So whatever your version of the security blanket is, keep it. Use it. Let it comfort you. There is no shame in needing something to hold on to. If you have lost someone and you have not yet found your version of this, I want to gently suggest something. Look for one object that reminds you of them. One thing you can hold or wear or keep close. It doesn't have to be expensive or significant to anyone but you. It just has to carry a piece of them. And then let yourself use it on the hard nights, in the heavy moments, or just when you need to feel less alone. Because grief is not something we get over. It is something we learn to carry. And sometimes we need something to help us carry it. A blanket, a bag, a candle in a dark room, whatever helps you feel held. Let it help you. Let yourself be held. So here's what needs to change today. When families lose someone to violent crime, the personal belongings of their loved ones sometimes become part of an investigation or get lost in the chaos of everything that follows. I do think that families should always have their right to their loved ones' personal belongings protected and prioritized because those objects are not just things. They are lifelines. They are how we hold on to the people we lost. That deserves to be understood and respected by everyone involved in the process. And in my case, it has been, but I've heard stories of other people who don't, aren't that lucky. So tonight, if grief gets heavy, I will be wrapped in my mom's blanket. And if you have something that helps you feel held, I hope you reach for it too. And like always, I thank you so much for listening to After the Unthinkable. I will be back soon with another episode. But until then, keep going. You are stronger than you think.